Hi, I'm Chris Haigh and this is the Fiddle channel. Today we're going to play Kitchen Girl. In this lesson I'm going to show you the basic tune. I'll go through it fairly slowly to start with. Then we're going to look at something about the modes that this tune is in, and then we'll talk about ornamentation and open string drones, and then I'll show you 3 different approaches to bowing and a little bit about syncopation. So I hope you enjoy this tune. I'll run slowly through the tune, then we'll do it with the backing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let me point out it's in 2 different keys. So it starts off in A mixolydian, which means A major scale with a flattened G or a flattened 7th. So it starts off like that. The second half is in A minor, but it's A minor dorian, which means that it has a F sharp or a natural 6th, a raised 6th. It's quite unusual to have a traditional tune with 2 different modes in this way, and going from major to minor is one of the most interesting and satisfying things about this tune. So let's try it again, and we'll play it with the backing. Now when we come to the end of the first line, to the G natural, you can, if you want, bend it up slightly. Like that, which just kind of hints at the G sharp. Or you could even, if you were bold, place it neatly without sliding in between there and there to play that note. But that's pretty daring, and that's a very old-timey thing to do. When you get to the second half, because it's going from high to lower and from major to minor, it's quite effective if you go a bit quieter. So taking it from the second line, doing it like that is quite effective. This tune has a lot of quavers but also quite a few crotchets, and various versions of this will get rid of those quarter notes and put in more eighth notes. So you might do a version something like this, and we'll take it up to tempo now. And if you're playing it fast and possibly in a more bluegrass and less old-time feel, I think that sticking those extra notes in is quite an effective idea. Let's play it through slowly again, and this time we'll put in some open string drones. So the first couple of bars, you can drone first the A, open A, and then the open E. And probably through all of that A part, I think you'll be droning either one or the other. Some people don't like to do that amount of drone playing. Some people like to play clean. So I suggest somewhere in between. Second half, open E, drone again. A drone there if you want. That's quite nice to put an E under that final A, or the next to the final A. Now let's look at three different approaches to bowing. The first one being the Nashville Shuffle, and I do have a video coming up, either already up or coming up very shortly on the Nashville Shuffle, so check that out. Basically this is a long, short, short, long, short, short, like and it obviously is faster than that. And it alternates the long notes on a down, up, down, up. It's quite a good idea to try playing the whole tune with this pattern just as an exercise, but in fact you'll find that there are certain places where it doesn't work so easily. So it's an interesting technical and mental exercise to force it onto a tune in that way. But in practice you want to be able to dip in and out of the shuffle. The reason it's called the Nashville Shuffle is to do with the Nashville recording industry of the early 20th century, when fiddle players were called upon to play over songs, often newly written songs, which were meant to sound old, they were meant to sound traditional, and the easiest way for a fiddle player to approach this was to put in a shuffle rhythm which had that kind of old-timey feel. So just by following a few simple chords and sticking to the shuffle rhythm, you could easily create an authentic sounding backing, and so it became known as the Nashville Shuffle. I'll play it along with the backing and see if I can do an effective Nashville Shuffle. Incidentally, one of the fascinating things about old-time fiddle playing is that teachers and students are obsessed with things like the Nashville Shuffle, and it's one of the most important things that people teach and learn. But the real top practitioners of old-time music almost never play shuffles. So it's a kind of a shortcut to sounding authentic, whilst at the same time being quite inauthentic. But that's the subject possibly for a future documentary. Anyway, let's now look at the Georgia Shuffle, which is a slightly smoother shuffle. So it sounds like this. So we start off with two bows, two notes slurred up, and then a down accent, and then three slurred up. So you'll notice that all of the accents, instead of alternating between up and down, are now on the down, which makes it more consistent, and having three notes slurred instead of two makes it smoother. So So this is a good bowing pattern for adding drive and lift, and if you're playing for a dance, it was certainly the one I would recommend. I learned the Nashville Shuffle first, but as soon as I learned the Georgia Shuffle, that's kind of what I did almost all of the time and still do. I find it a really useful and satisfying pattern. Let's just try that one more time with the backing and up to tempo. A third approach, and one that I would take if it was playing fast and playing in a bluegrass style, is to do a lot of slurs, a lot more slurs than that. So something like this, and I'll do it with the backing. Finally, let's look at some places for syncopation, which in an old-timey feel is going to be more appropriate. So I'll just play through with the backing again and look for places to do that. So all of the beginnings of the sections can be anticipated, like 2, 1, 2, 3. That kind of thing, and you can anticipate the middle of phrases. And if you're playing solo or with just one or two other instruments, then it's really exciting and it stands out. It doesn't get in people's way. It makes it very exciting for you to play, kind of constantly taking chances and never quite knowing how it's going to work out. But that's one of the things I love about this kind of music, that there's a lot of freedom to try out these kind of things in a live context. I'll play you out with 3 times round. Thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're a subscriber, send me an email, and my email address is at the bottom of the description below. Incidentally, I'm starting a Patreon page. Hopefully that will be started by the time this video comes out, and that will give you access to all of my PDFs, and also, depending on what level you decide to come in at to some or all of my backing tracks, such as I'm using here. And it would be great to see some of you on the Patreon page. See you again soon.